The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Happy holidays, everybody. This is Neil Himmelstein for the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I advise hundreds of financial advisors all across the country in the areas of life insurance, long-term care, disability insurance, and annuities. We can be reached at 631-647-4694 or my website at mainstreetplanninggroup.com. In past episodes, we've discussed guaranteed income for life, guaranteed income that you can't outlive. Isn't that a good feeling to have guaranteed income you can't outlive? We also discussed the virtues of life insurance, not just death insurance, but life insurance. Life insurance can be for the living, with living benefits. Last week, we talked about long-term care insurance and the needs to make a plan. So very evident. I mentioned my parents and how they went through it. And I know everybody goes through something, and families need to plan, not just for yourself. Your children need to plan for your parents. Your parents need to help plan for your children, and you need to go over your plan with everybody. Today, we're going to talk about income protection. What is your biggest asset? Is it your house? Is it your car? Is it your boat? Is it your business? Your biggest asset is your ability to make a living. It's almost like, if you can picture this, if you had a machine in your basement and all it did was print dollar bills, that's all it did all day long, would you put oil in it? Yeah. Would you maintain it? I think so. So why don't we take care of ourselves and protect our income? If we can't work because we're disabled for any reason, can we pay our mortgage, our taxes, our car payments? What happens to our lifestyle if all of a sudden our income stops? Now, many of you may have lost jobs during COVID and have felt the effects. But what if those effects lasted for a year, 6 months, 2 years? How about 40 years? Where are you going to live? What are you going to do? So today we want to talk about income protection, and it is the most important product that you can do for yourself. It is the most important thing in any financial plan, no matter where you are and what stage your life is. The day you get a job or start a business, it is the basic thing that you have to cover, that protection against your income. You may or may not know this, but 48% of all foreclosures happen because someone became disabled because the income had stopped. So that's why it's very important. Let's say you got your first job and you get a benefit package. Well, what I recommend with anybody that gets a benefit package or is offered a benefit package from their work is that they review it with their financial advisor. If they don't have one, reach out to our firm and we will recommend one specifically for you. This is the very basics of coverage is reviewing your benefits with a professional. For instance, 25-year-old could be in a car accident, be disabled for the rest of their life, and what are they going to do? How is that going to be handled by you for your children or them? So the basis of ensuring that disability is so important. Doctors and attorneys buy disability insurance like crazy, or income protection, because they know, because they see it. And the nice thing is, the interesting thing is, if you're in a profession where you're just starting out and you know there's going to be a big increase down the road, you need to protect that income for down the road so that there is a down the road for you. Now, even if you have disability programs at work and you see that, hey, they're covering me for something, typically, well, in New York State, they have to cover you for what they call short-term disability or short-term income interruption, not long-term. What we're talking about today is long-term, what's going to cover me. So it's typically not enough. Or maybe they have a group plan. The group plan may be inadequate for your financial needs to cover your expenses. So that has to be reviewed. The other thing is, disability at work is not portable, meaning if you leave that job, you no longer have disability coverage unless you have your own coverage. And typically, it's not job specific. And what does that mean? So if I'm a doctor and I get disability insurance, it's for my profession. It's called own occupation. You want to get disability insurance, if you can, that covers exactly what your work is. And I can tell you firsthand, many clients that I have and people that I know of that were doctors. One was a foot doctor who injured his hands in a car accident, and he could never be a doctor again using his hands. So he had a full disability policy, paid him a large lump sum of money and recurring money for the rest until he retires. Okay, he was 30 when this happened. He's getting that income, and now he's working at a lab making another income because he had own disability coverage, so his family is protected for the rest of their life. What a great thing to do. So we need to protect our income. Now, how does disability insurance work? Okay, it's definitely, the income protection is definitely job specific, okay, occupation specific. They look at your health and they look at your income. And so typically a long-term disability policy may pay you 2/3 of your income. If you're paying for it out of your pocket, that income comes back to you tax-free. So tax-free income if I can't work anymore in my occupation, if I have this protection. The costs are minimal compared to what you pay for auto insurance. I mean, you may be paying $2,000 a year for auto insurance that's going to cover you for maybe a $40,000 car. When you talk about your income, and let's say you're making $40,000 a year, over your lifetime, that's $4.7 million you're protecting. It's a much bigger bargain than your car insurance and much bigger protection. So for ourselves, this is a very, very important discussion to have, is protecting your income. Now, businesses have a unique protection element. Okay, what if a key person or a business owner becomes disabled? Not only do they need the salary personally, but who's going to do the work for that business and keep that business continuing on? Or if you're a sole proprietor or just have one business partner, what happens to that business if my business partner has a ski accident and he's integral into running that business? I may have to hire a new person. So for succession planning, so important that business is done. And not only for succession planning, one of the other often missed things is for overhead. There's specific disability programs that will cover you just for your business overhead, paying the lights, paying the salaries, paying the gas, and keeping that business running if you become disabled. So for succession planning, they even have a disability product for retirement planning. If you're so fortunate to be doing so well, they'll actually pay for your retirement. So all these types of protections, income protections, are there whether you're on your own, whether you work for somebody else, or you have your own business and you have a key person you want to protect. That's what we're talking about today. It's income protection, personal and business. Thank you. This is Neil Himmelstein. This is the code for financial success. You can reach me at 631-647-4694, mainstreetplanninggroup.com. Thanks again. Welcome back. This is Neil Himmelstein for the Main Street Code for Financial Success. Code, our code is choice, organization, direction, and education. If you're just tuning in, we just had a discussion about income protection and why that's one of the most important foundation things that you need to do. As I stated earlier, your most valuable asset is not your home, is not your car, it's not your boat, it is your income. And if you just think of the value of that, and let's say you're making $40,000 a year, over the next 30 years, that equates to about $4.7 million. Don't you want to protect that? I mean, we pay for car insurance because we have to. We pay for homeowners because we have to. But who's paying for us? We have to protect ourselves, and that's done with income protection or disability insurance, and it is the foundation most important thing that we all need to have as part of our overall portfolio. Now, I work with financial advisors all over the country. I'm not here to compete with anybody. I'm here to assist them in helping you. And that's what we do. I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not talking about investments. I'm talking about protecting your retirement, protecting you after retirement, leaving a legacy to your heirs, providing a guaranteed income for life. And today we're specifically talking about income protection, disability insurance. Now, there are many different disability products and things you can do for your business as well. And as I've said in previous programs, your business is like a whole nother person. What do I mean by that? Your business is a living, breathing thing. I know with my business, I want it to succeed after I'm long gone, just like I want my personal legacy to succeed. I want my business to go to the next generations. I want someone to care for my business. Now, what can hurt my business? What can hurt my business is if I have a major loss of income from me being disabled. That can hurt my business greatly. Now, I have employees in my business. Who's going to pay their salary if I become disabled and I don't have money? So all of a sudden, everything I built is gone in an instant? That's not a good thing. So there's specific disability type programs if I become disabled, and 50% of all mortgages that people foreclose on or businesses that fail because there's a loss of income. That's the oil in the machine. If you don't oil your machine, it will fail. Now, if you're just starting out in life and you got your first job and everything else, one of the things I recommend you do is sit down with a financial advisor. And if your financial advisor doesn't know everything, call me. You have their advisor call me, and I can help them guide you to some of these type of products and solutions to potential problems. So one of the things we talked about early on, particularly because I have 2 millennial children, is saving for retirement. We talk about any show you hear, I'm not talking about stocks and bonds. There's a way of saving. Just like working out every day and eating healthy, you need to get into the habit of putting money away every month on a consistent basis. I like a lot of life insurance products you can do that with, as you can with investments. It's not, this is the hot stock of the day. That's gambling, okay? Okay, you got a hot stock pick. Maybe it did well, maybe it failed. A lot of you are doing that right now, especially during COVID when you're home and sitting there and doing the investing. That's no way to plan for the future long term. You might have some short-term gains. You might have some short-term losses. Long term, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. Protect your income with income protection insurance. Buy some life insurance that can provide living benefits for you and also leave something behind so you don't leave a mess. The earlier you plan, the easier it is as you go on in life. Because you can't plan, you can't buy fire insurance after your house is on fire. You have to buy products and things and plan while you're healthy, and while your income is coming in, you have to protect it. You have to save on a regular basis and protect that income. So, let me give you a recap of all the different things that we've talked about in the last few shows. We spent a good time talking about annuities. What do annuities do? They can give you a guaranteed income for life. Income you can't outlive. My father was invested in the stock market since 1940, and he told me the best investment he had was the one that had a check that came into his account every single month. Life insurance protection is so inexpensive. Just to protect it for a few dollars a month, to protect $500,000 so your family doesn't have to bear the burden of your expenses and your bills. Extremely important. Income protection. If you need money and you become disabled and you think you're going to load up on your credit cards or borrow money, who's going to lend you money when you don't have any income coming in? That's the time when you can't borrow money. What bank is going to give you $1 when you need it the most? This is why you have to prepare and set up a foundation for yourself with income protection. Again, anytime you have business succession planning as well, your attorneys and your CPAs, if they're discussing business succession planning with you, they put together something called a buy-sell agreement. What does that mean? That means if my partner leaves or dies, usually they'll recommend buying life insurance. Well, what if my partner becomes disabled? They always tell you, if you become disabled, what is the plan? Well, you need a fund to fund that. Well, insurance is that fund, and I can tell you 95% of all business buy-sell plans, they don't fund it with disability insurance. Yet there's specific products out there that'll pay a lump sum of money if someone becomes disabled. Or if you need to keep the lights on and pay the salaries. I know an accountant who was on a skiing trip. He went on the skiing trip and had a very bad accident and broke his back, was in the hospital for 6 months, and obviously couldn't do tax returns for a year. With that, who's covering his work? Plus, his family was still expecting income to come into his family. So the accounting firm made sure that they got adequate disability coverage for all of their partners. because they now see the need. So, income protection, very important. Life insurance protection, very important. Investments on a regular basis, whether it be an IRA or regular investments, very important. Everything we're talking about is very important, but everything has to work in coordination with everything else. It's not an all or nothing game. You want to diversify what you're doing. Not only they always talk about diversifying your assets, you want to diversify your tax classes, and most importantly, you want to protect them so that you can leave a legacy and you can have a happy, peaceful retirement. This is Neil Himmelstein. I can be reached at 631-647-4694, or you can visit me on my website at mainstreetplanninggroup.com. I work with your advisors, whether it's a financial advisor, accountant, attorney, and I hope to give you good advice, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you. Have a pleasant day and a happy holiday.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.